What do you think the odds are that I mount this TV by myself with no help?
I don't know. I think Vegas says pretty low.
You know what? We're going to defy those odds. I'm mounting this TV by myself with no help. Let's do this. All right. Yep. This is fine. Just help guide me. Help guide me home. Oh. Nope. Nope. Okay, so right now in my living room, you guys have seen this before, but we have a Samsung Series 8 82-inch big screen TV. It's been a really awesome TV. I've had it for about 6 years now, but Hisense actually reached out recently when they saw my living room, and they said they had a brand new TV for me to check out. It's 85 inches, so it's a little bit larger, but I'm really excited because I have heard nothing but good things about this TV. So let's go ahead and grab it and we'll take this thing down, put the new one up and get to the review. I'll push it in myself.
All right.
They got to know the struggle, because the reality is most of you guys buying this TV don't have friends to help you. It's not even a roast, it's just reality. This thing is over 100 pounds. And I'm gonna see if I can install it myself.
Or at least that's what I thought. You see, lifting an 85-inch, 100-pound TV nearly 6 feet off the ground was going to prove to be a lot more difficult than I previously anticipated. Which you think I would have figured out by now, seeing as how I was complaining about how heavy the cardboard surrounding the TV was on its own.
Dude, this is heavy. Oh man. I don't know, what do you think, man? How's it looking so far? It's thin.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I personally have been wanting this TV, so you receiving it from Hisense, I'm low-key a little jealous.
So remember when I said I heard nothing but good things about this TV? It was actually from the guy filming this right now. He wants this TV really bad. And I didn't know that until I told him which TV Hisense was sending out. So apparently this thing's pretty darn good. I'm excited to see it though. When you're mounting or moving anything above 75 inches, this is 85, preferably you would want a minimum of 2, but a maximum of like 3 to 4 people to lift it, because these are over 100 pounds. I'm gonna try to do it myself. I don't know if it's possible, but I just wanna see, because I know a lot of guys like me will be buying a TV like this. They may not have somebody to help them mount it, and I wanna see what's possible. So we're gonna try to remove this one. I'll get that out of the way and then see if I can lift this off the ground and hang it up. Obviously, we'll put the mounting hardware on the back of the TV while it's standing here in the box first. Let's go ahead and do that. You should really, I would advise you to pre-plan these things. Don't just start opening boxes, because this is how you make mistakes and break things. But luckily I have a lot of experience with TV mounting, and I think I can possibly do this.
But Andrew, the average person is gonna wanna just get home and open it up.
I know, and I do too, and you see that's why I'm doing it. It's funny, the only difference between me and you is I'm uploading the video to a channel and exposing myself, and you're just not gonna tell anyone you did it, but we're both doing the same stuff.
And now for the moment of truth, would I be able to lift my old TV off the mount without breaking it or hurting myself in the process to make room for my brand new 85-inch TV?
Okay, hold on, we got this.
Spoiler alert, I'm just being delusional here because I do not in fact got this.
Okay, it's too heavy, we're not doing it alone. We need to get a new cameraman in here. It's not a fail, it's a safety measure. Cool. There we go. That's what was happening. I bet you I could have got that actually.
And instead of admitting defeat and humbly asking my friends for help, I decided to double down and say this instead.
I knew what happened. I think I could still mount that other one by myself now. I'm serious, I don't think I was pulling it out enough. I actually made a special contraption back here. This way we could mount a TV a little bit further out on the wall, because the way this TV was gonna sit, would have had to be inside of this void. However, the TV's so big that it doesn't actually fit in the void. It overlapped the wall a little, which gave us really awesome aesthetics because it looks like a TV that's almost flush with the wall. So we're gonna use the same mount. This says it can accommodate the weight of 132 pounds, and that TV is, I think, 110. So we're still clear with the mounting. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and just actually take the mounting hardware off the back of this TV.
And just like that, I started disassembling the hardware from my old TV so I could test fit it on the Hisense U8, but quickly discovered that we had a problem.
Okay, so it is the same size, but as you can see, the screws are just way too long. And we don't want all that.
Luckily, this isn't going to be a problem because I always keep all my old mounting hardware in my toolbox instead of throwing it away like most people do.
Ooh, this might be it. I think this one's it right here.
You guys, size doesn't matter all the time.
It does when you're mounting TVs. Don't listen to Francisco.
And with the mounting brackets finally in place, I think it's time we get back to that intro clip I showed you guys at the beginning of this video.
What do you think the odds are that I mount this TV by myself with no help?
I don't know. I think Vegas says pretty low.
You know what? We're going to defy those odds. I'm mounting this TV by myself with no help. Let's do this. All right. Yep. This is fine. Just help guide me. Help guide me home. Oh. Nope. Nope. This is fine. We're fine. It's just much heavier on that side than it is on this side.
You're gonna need me, buddy.
Yeah. Chelsea. I'm gonna need help. Chelsea. We're not panicking. This is fine. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, we did it.
Hey, look at how much.
No, it's gonna come over. Don't worry about it. Oh wait, hold on. Let me act like I finish it. Ah, woo! I told you guys I could do that by myself. That's not a big deal at all. All right, so everything else that comes besides the TV, you have a quick start guide, manual, boom. Don't need that probably. You obviously have your power cable. You have a really nice looking remote. Can't wait to check that out. Couple of batteries, much appreciated, and some more random hardware, some screws. I really don't even know what oh, you know what these are probably for? Is the stand. That's what they're probably for. So these are probably for the stand. Because also, you have, oh my God, this thing is so heavy. It's like a steel plate. This is so heavy right here, but this is actually the base. If you wanted to actually just have the TV like on top of your furniture rather than mounted up onto a wall. Because as you guys can see, mounting a TV of this size is not super easy, but it definitely can be done.
And now that the hard part is out of the way, we can go ahead and move on to the TV setup.
So the first thing that we're gonna do, open up your Google Home app if you don't already have it downloaded. You can scan the QR code, download the Google app, and then go ahead and go right here. It says set up Google TV device. You can either do that or you can just scan the QR code up on the screen that your TV is gonna show. For me, it's just easier. Just gonna press that. Can't show my address. I'm gonna have to blur that out. My address is showing right now. Go ahead and select the house. If you don't have an address, Google's gonna prompt you to go ahead and put your address details in to tell it which home this is. Because if you have multiple homes, you're actually able to control devices remotely. Boom. So it actually found the TV. Now it wants us to scan the QR code. Really simple stuff. It's gonna go ahead and connect to the Google TV. You can see the phone is now matching the TV because they are in sync. It's gonna go ahead and give you a bunch of terms that I'm not gonna read. I'm just gonna accept through that. Tell it where the TV is located in this scenario. I'm gonna go ahead and find living room. Boom, and then it's gonna give you a bunch of Wi-Fi. I'm gonna go ahead and blur that out as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and connect it to my Wi-Fi.
Now enter your Wi-Fi password, and within a couple of seconds, your TV should now be connected to the Wi-Fi.
Do I wanna allow Face ID? Absolutely, of course I do. That way, my cameraman can't get on my TV. You guys cannot know my password for this, so
I'm gonna get in this TV regardless.
Luckily, this TV is so big that I know you can't run off with it. I'm gonna be real, the setup was actually really easy on this. All right, device location. No, you don't need to know any of that. Recommendations, there's nothing to toggle off. Okay, accept, boom. Now we're gonna have the Google Assistant set up with our Hisense U8 TV, which will be really nice. Set up voice match on devices out of the box. Oh. Your assistant will recognize your voice on all eligible devices in this home, including devices you add later, which means it can differentiate me talking from the guy behind the camera talking, and it'll only listen to me, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up.
I'm gonna deactivate it.
Oh, wait, it says it's using previously recorded clips to voice match me. When did it do that? I don't remember doing that.
You didn't read the terms and conditions?
Wait a minute. Google, what are you up to? That's crazy to me. Now we can go through, we can choose our subscriptions.
Once we select our subscriptions, it's time to pair the remote, which you can do by simply holding down the back button and home button simultaneously for 3 seconds. Once that's done, you'll be prompted to set up an audio device like a home theater system or even a soundbar. And finally, you can register your TV by taking a picture of the QR code on the screen. For starters, this TV is 74.5 inches long, 43 inches tall, and 3.5 inches deep, with a diagonal measurement of 85 inches. On the backside, it features 4 HDMI ports, 2 of which are HDMI 2.1 4K 144 Hz, while the other two are HDMI 2.0, which support 4K at 60 Hz. And of course, that does include an eARC port. We also have two USB ports, an Ethernet port, an optical audio output, a 3.5mm audio headphone jack, a composite video input, and an antenna cable input. This TV features a 2.1.2 speaker system, which includes two front-facing speakers, one center speaker, and two rear subwoofers. But if that wasn't enough, Hisense also included two up-firing speakers for height effects, easily making this one of the best built-in TV sound systems I've ever heard. And here's a quick sound test so you can get a sense of how the audio sounds coming directly from the TV. The TV comes with a really nice remote control, which is backlit, textured, and gives various different hotkeys, some of which include Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, and more. But what I especially like is the Google Assistant microphone button in the center, making it really convenient to give voice commands. Now, in case you skipped it, the setup process was fairly straightforward and should take an average person approximately 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The first thing I noticed when I turned this TV on is the user interface, and I was met with both satisfaction and disappointment. The satisfaction came from a quick, snappy, and responsive experience, which, believe it or not, is not always guaranteed on high-end TVs these days. Lots of TVs I've tested out in the past feel a bit sluggish and slow in the UI department. But this one, though, does a great job of letting me quickly sort through different media options without having to be annoyed with a sluggish feeling experience. This is a big plus for the U8N. The resolution of that interface, on the other hand, was a bit underwhelming. And for whatever reason, this interface had me worried that the TV wasn't going to be as sharp as I once hoped. Luckily, this is not the case, though, and the low resolution and washed out image is simply bound to the user interface for some reason. This really isn't a deal breaker, and I'm kind of being picky here, but it's definitely something that I would love to see improved on a future model. Now let's move on and talk about that screen a little bit. The first thing I noticed is how bright it was. In fact, this screen features 3000 nits of peak brightness, which normally sounds like a good thing, but with the monstrous 85-inch screen size, mixed with the 3000 peak nits of brightness, I almost felt like I needed to wear sunglasses when staring at this screen. Fortunately, there are plenty of picture options and adjustments you can make to dial the screen in and make it a much more pleasing viewing experience. Speaking of, one setting I recommend you turn on immediately is automatic light sensor, which will adjust the screen brightness based on ambient light conditions. For example, if it's daytime and there's lots of natural light coming through the windows, the screen will get brighter. And if it's nighttime and you're trying to watch a movie in the dark, the screen will dim a little bit, which, trust me, you're gonna want. To access this, select the gear icon, head over to Picture, General, and then scroll down 5 times and go ahead and toggle it on. And if you guys want to see my favorite settings for this TV, I'll leave them down in the description below. Now, what really impressed me about this TV is how good the contrast is, and this is likely due to the 2000 local dimming zones this TV offers. Now, this is a technology that specifically allows areas of the TV to be dimmed independently of one another. Basically, each zone can adjust its brightness level to enhance overall picture quality, and its main purpose is to improve the contrast ratio by making dark areas darker and simultaneously letting bright areas be brighter, which makes the overall picture look more dynamic and realistic. And just for a point of reference, the more local dimming zones a TV has generally means the more control and higher picture quality. The Hisense U8N features one of, if not the highest refresh rate I've ever seen for any modern day TV at 144 Hz, which is especially great if you love to play video games, because now you can get the refresh rate and responsiveness of a gaming monitor, but just on a massive 85-inch screen. This TV also offers reduced motion blur, which can make fast-moving objects in games look clear and more detailed. And because you can do all of this in 4K resolution, now I can finally max out and take advantage of my full Xbox Series X or PS5 capability. If you're not a gamer, 144 Hz is still great for watching sports, because that higher refresh rate will make fast-moving objects like a football player running down the field or a race car speeding across a racetrack look sharper and more vivid. And for my movie lovers out there, fast-moving action scenes and explosions will look especially great on this TV. Now, since this is a Google TV, we have lots of different Google-enabled features like voice search or smart home integration. In fact, like I showed in the setup process, you can actually link your TV to your Google Home app, which gives you remote access features from your phone. So let's get into my final thoughts. And to kick it off, I want to start off with the audio. And while this is some of the best audio I've heard out of any TV speakers, I will say that it does lack dialogue clarity. And also, you're not going to get such deep bass out of a TV as you will out of a soundbar or a full surround sound system. So for that, I do have to knock off a couple points. Simply put, I enhanced it by just adding my Sonos Arc Ultra soundbar to the setup, and this really wrapped everything all together really nicely, but just the TV audio by itself, I'm gonna give it a solid rating of 8 out of 10. Now for picture quality, I'm gonna break it up into several different parts because there's a lot that goes into an overall rating. Starting off with brightness. Now it's not the brightest TV on the market. I think the brightest TV on the market's about peak brightness of like 5,000 nits. So in comparison, this one's 3,000 nits. But with that said, even in the brightest sunlight conditions with light beaming through my back slider onto the screen, I can easily view any YouTube video, TV show, or movie with no problem at all. And in lower light settings, I actually found the TV to be extremely bright, and I was quickly going for the settings icon. That way I could find a way to dim the screen a little bit. So for overall brightness, it gets a solid 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about the contrast that this TV is able to produce. Now, when it comes to contrast, it's no secret that OLED is king, but I will say the Hisense U8N did surprise me quite a bit, especially because of how bright the panel is. It's a QLED, not an OLED, and just the sheer size of it, it really was impressive, and I tested it out to the full extremes. I actually pulled up that LG video where they're actually doing the honeypot comparison over the black background, and it really does do a great job. I did directly compare this to a Sony OLED that I have in my master bedroom, and it actually does compete with it. It's not as sharp, it's not as dark, but it's pretty close. And for the common eye of someone who's not directly comparing, I don't think many people would notice the difference. And for my contrast rating, for not being an OLED, this is a really strong score, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Now, one of my personal favorite parts about this TV is the 144 hertz refresh rate. It's no secret, I am a big gamer, and I gotta admit, I haven't seen my consoles, being my PS5 and my Xbox Series X, look this sharp, this clean, and have this smooth of gameplay, especially when I was playing God of War earlier. I don't remember it looking that good. This TV really is impressive when it comes to that. And a lot of you guys know that I'm a big sports fan as well, and you can catch me watching baseball, football, or even the occasional basketball game. And this TV is great with its high refresh rate. Everything just looks so clean and so smooth. And since this is, if not the highest, one of the highest refresh rates in modern TVs, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a strong 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about the color that the U8N is able to produce. This is a QLED, which has a wider color gamut than other TV technologies like an LED or an OLED. That said, I actually was a little bit underwhelmed by the colors. I know you can actually change a little bit of the contrast in settings in your picture settings of the TV, but especially out of the box, everything looked a little bit bright and washed out for my eye. I may be nitpicking a little bit though, because I had several family members and friends over during the holidays for Thanksgiving, and none of them complained. In fact, people said the TV looked bright and vibrant. So maybe it's just me directly comparing things and trying to find things wrong with the TV, but for color, a little bit underwhelming. That said, still very good. I was just more impressed with the contrast and brightness over the colors on this one. So I'm gonna give it a 7.2 out of 10. And you can't talk about picture quality without bringing up the resolution. This 4K TV has an AI powered picture, which is a fancy way of saying that the AI uses its chipset to optimize and enhance the image. And I do have to admit, it does a fantastic job. However, it's almost 2025 and I just kind of feel like the TV should be 8K. I'm not sure if they have an 8K version of this, but to my knowledge, they don't. And even though there's not much content out available for it yet, I just think for future proofing purposes, it would have been nice. With that said though, this really feels like a fully refined and fully polished 4K TV, almost a final form, if you will, and I really do appreciate that. So for overall resolution, I'm gonna give it a strong 8.7 out of 10. And finally, let's talk about features. Now this TV has voice control, AI features, Wi-Fi 6E, a great user interface, 4K, a gaming mode, and pretty much everything else that you would want from it. So from a feature standpoint, I can't really think of something that I wanted and it didn't have or couldn't do. So for that aspect, I'm gonna give it a strong 9.2 out of 10 for features. So who is this TV really for? Now, if you don't have an 85-inch TV, you're looking to upgrade to something larger, but you don't wanna absolutely break the bank, I think this is a phenomenal option and I would greenlight that purchase. Now, if you're a person who already has an 80+ inch TV that is 5 years or older, I would say this would be a phenomenal upgrade because I had that Samsung TV that I was using from 6 years ago, and this feels really really significant and powerful in comparison. Now, if you're a person who already has like a 75-inch or larger and the TV's not even 5 years old yet, I would say there's nothing so revolutionary or game-changing or groundbreaking that's gonna make your jaw hit the floor with this one. So I think you could hold off if you're in that specific scenario. If this video was helpful at all for you guys, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe to help me reach 1 million subscribers on the channel. And until I see you on the next video, go check out one of these because for some reason, YouTube thinks you might like them.